Greetings, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening on Turning a Moment into a Movement. I am your host, Jay Love. Welcome. I also represent the Justice for Gerard movement. And as you know, Gerard's my son who was wrongfully convicted of a crime he didn't do, innocent, and he went to prison for that crime. And unfortunately, there are a lot of innocent people who are incarcerated even today um, for crimes that they didn't do. But because of that journey with Gerard, I met so many other people on that journey. And it led me to um, create this space, turning a moment into a movement, a safe space, a community space where we come here on Fridays to talk about wrongful convictions and injustice. Our mission statement is to bring awareness to the wrongful conviction of Gerard and all others who are wrongly convicted, overly sentenced, mentally ill, and medically frail in our community, to organize and educate all communities about the need to disrupt system, policies, and patterns of the criminal legal system that leads to wrongful convictions. And so that's why we come here every Friday to to motivate and inspire and educate our community about the needs to understand what wrongful convictions are and how they happen, how easily they happen, and also how they can happen to anyone at any time. No one is exempt. So thank you for joining us this Friday. We plan on doing something a little bit different this Friday because we had a debate last night and we want to discuss that. So, before we get started, as I wait for everyone to come in, I want to say hello to those who are watching on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. And for those who might listen to us later on the podcast platforms, we appreciate you all for joining us every Friday and being a part of the community. If you want to reach us for questions or how to get in touch with one of us, or even how to just contact me if you want to join us in a conversation. Um, you can join us first by contacting me at turning a moment into a movement at gmail.com. Again, that's turning a moment into a movement at gmail.com. And I will answer your questions and I will connect with you. I'm going to do better with that, but I am going to do that. So, as we get started, I see Reverend here has joined the queue. So we're going to let Reverend come in. Hey, Reverend.
Well, hello there. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be here tonight. I cannot wait to have this conversation. And all day today, I've been walking in my purpose, helping people get to their purpose. And you know what? I discovered today, not just today, but it's been on my mind all week, and that is seizing the moment. And I
Yeah.
hope that we can begin to seize each moment, not to move so far ahead into the next thing. I find myself sometimes having a list of things to do, and then even though I write the list down, then I keep going over what I have to do. Well, if you wrote the list, let it go. Just let the list go. You don't have to keep saying, "Well, now I got to do this, this, and that."
Yeah.
All we have is right now, and I believe, Jay, that we are taking the opportunity to be in the right now moment. So whatever has happened, whatever is happening today, we are called today for this purpose, to advocate and to stand for justice, for what is right, for what is humane, for what is loving, for what is peaceful, and for what is the reality of who we are. So, Jay, I'm so excited. So excited. The Choice Zone is doing it. MCHR is doing it.
Yes.
G100 is doing it. Transforming Love Community is doing it. If any of
Yeah.
these things cause you to say, wait, I want to know more, give me a call or email me at tiataylor@thechoicezone.com.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tia. So we have some guests that's coming on tonight because I figured that we had to broaden this conversation a little bit. So
Yeah.
as we wait for Attorney Matt to come in, I'm going to bring on one of our guests uh,
Okay.
who has been here before, and I'm going to let him come on and introduce himself. Hey, Nate.
How you doing? How you doing? How's everybody?
Oh, Nate's in the house.
Yes. Glad to be back. And I'm excited about what we're talking about today. I tell you this country is in trouble. And if we ever needed the Lord, we need him. It's that debate was kind of remind me of a circus. And what do we do? Or the only thing I can say is time to pray. It's just our country is in bad shape. And until we as a people really understand what's going on and stop getting caught up in all this other stuff that they bring along to distract us, we're going to be ignorant to a lot of things. So
Mhm.
I'm excited, about this debate tonight. And once again, J Love, thank you for getting in contact with me. At the last minute when she called me, I was at the gym. Because the gym, that's one of my safe havens. That's where I go and release my frustration and anger and all that out. That's therapy to me. And
Mhm.
so I got God, but I also have that too. And
Yes.
so thank you for calling me. And I walked here quickly to get to this place so I can be here with the family today. So God bless y'all.
And we appreciate you. And let for those who may not know you or don't know how to connect with you, just let them know a little bit of where to find you and your show that you have, your
Yeah,
podcast.
for the ones don't know, it's Heart to Hearts with Nate Frazier. I do a lot of podcasts. I don't do the radio anymore as of now, so I just do my podcast. So many different subjects that I talked about. I talk about from political to community involvement, and just bringing awareness, to our people, which is important. From spirituality to political to racism, to police brutality, to judicial misconduct, prosecutorial misconduct, wrongful convictions. That's one of my main things that I really love to do. And just working out with, work with people from all over the country. It just has been a blessing. So if you want to get in contact with Heart to Hearts, you can email me at Nate Fraze, that's NATEFRAZ in zebra 89 at gmail.com, or you can messenger me on Facebook, Nate Frazier, and I will be glad to talk with you and give you more information about what I do.
Yes. Thank you, Nate. I'm so glad you're here with us tonight.
Glad to
So
be here.
from New York, we have Kevin. Hey, Kevin. Introduce
Look,
yourself, Kevin.
good
You're
evening,
family
everybody.
too.
How y'all doing? Long time no see. I miss y'all. Reverend
Oh.
T and J Love. How y'all doing? What's going on, Brother Frazier?
How you doing, sir?
And
Fantastic.
we're going to have to come see you in New York.
Yeah, come on
Yeah.
down.
Introduce yourself, Kevin, for everybody who don't know you or haven't seen you in a while. Let them know what you do.
All right. Well, my name is Kevin Haynes. I did 27 years in federal custody. While in there, I obtained my paralegal certification from Blackstone. Graduated top of my class. Since I've been home, I've been doing paralegal work advocacy for prison reform and sentencing reform. I had the honors of teaming up with the Honorable John B. Gleason, who was the federal district court judge in the Eastern District of New York, as well as the retired chief judge now, Raymond J. Deary of the Eastern District of New York. And we've been doing prison reform. I had the honor of speaking to Bobby Scott to try to change different things regarding the mandatory minimums. In the within the federal sentencing prison reform. I also have a pantry. I do run the pantry. I've been in Detroit, spoke down there with J Love, hung in Reverend Tia. And that's pretty much what my life pretty much consists of. Had the honors of speaking at Harvard several times, Yale University, NYU, American Bar Association here in New York, and a host of other places. But that's who I am. That's what I do.
Yay, Kevin, you got a full plate.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent.
No wonder we ain't seeing you. You busy. Thank you for joining us, Kevin, because I appreciate your voice. And you're still on the podcast on Sunday nights, right?
Yeah, when they have it.
Yeah. So yes, he brings a great perspective, and we need you for this conversation. So thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
And last, but certainly not least, we're going to bring in Attorney Hugo Mack.
Much love, much love. How is everybody?
All right. Attorney Hugo Mack.
Hugo.
Good to see you, Nate. My brother Nate Frazier, boy, my man.
How you doing, my brother?
Hey, good to see you, man. Hey,
I see you still hanging out.
See you still hanging out with them barbell boys, man. That's good. That's good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, hey, Hugo Mack, attorney at law. Some people stand up in front of crowds and say they graduated from Yale, magna cum laude, or Stanford, summa cum laude, some other prestigious, Notre Dame, summa cum laude. I graduated from University of Toledo. Thank you, laude. So for me, I'm so happy to be here through the grace of God and Jesus Christ. So unlike the other 44,000 lawyers in the state of Michigan, I did not parachute from heaven to be here with you today. Through the blood of God and Jesus Christ, I've come up from hell to be with you here today, you see? So I understand what it's like to pay a debt not owed. I understand the scorn and ridicule, okay, that people that are not only wrongfully convicted, but overly convicted have to face. Right. I went into the penitentiary, degree from the University of Michigan, law degree, everything like that, but came out of the penitentiary, could not get a job stacking tomato cans in Myers because of the stigma of being a convicted felon. As I've said before, I'm an attorney. It's a privilege to be an attorney. It's not a right, it's a privilege. But in the privilege of being an attorney, I can pick a jury, but because I've got a criminal justice experience, I cannot sit on one in the state of Michigan. Okay? Now, how whack is that? How whack is that? So, it's like saying somebody's got a license to perform open heart surgery, but they're not able to take a cough drop. Okay, so that's where we're at, and yeah. I pride myself on the people that I serve. These are not people that you see in the media or other lawyers, quote unquote high class upper echelon people that drive fancy cars and drive over bridges. I'm proud of the fact that a lot of my clients, unfortunately, don't drive fancy car, but a lot of them end up having from time to time to live under a bridge. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I understand what it's like to be without. I understand to be with people that are without. Part of my ministry is rejoicing with the people and crying with the people, because that's what the word tells me to do. Be a man with a good word of God in and out of season. And so when I look at myself and my ability to be here through God, I remember Apostle Paul. Apostle Paul said, I've learned to abound wherever I'm at, you see. And Brother Kevin understands what's like living out of a Foot Locker. He understands, and Nate Frazier understands too, from all the people he's had, and what it's like to live out of a Foot Locker. to be told
Yeah.
when to get up, when to go to bed, you see, when and if you can go to the bathroom, what to wear. See, we understand all this, the three men and women too understand this. So for me, I learned to abound with all my worldly belongings in 2 foot lockers and a duffel bag, for over 10 years. So for me now, the material things in life are not what's real important, because those things will pass away. Okay. And I will pass away before them. So, and like Alexander the Great said, I brought nothing into this world, and I'm gonna take nothing out.
That's
So
right.
the reality of it is that while we're here, what matters and all that matters is while we're here in the time that God put us here, so for the rest of the time I'm here, hopefully long, but only God knows, then we in here to fight the good fight, and to keep swinging for the fences. And so that's my encouragement to all people, especially those that have been done wrong. Like I said, not only the wrongfully convicted, but you got a lot of people that are overly convicted, made to pay debts that they don't owe that much. They might owe something, but not that. And
Exactly.
so I'm proud to be here, J Love, and J Love, I know you cut us back. Now Tia laughing, she knows what's gonna happen. So I know you told us to cut back, J Love, and I don't mean to be long. However, I must say, for Mr. and Mrs. America, all the ships at sea, all Black people, good people everywhere, if you find yourself on Trouble Boulevard, push, pull, tow, drag that hoopity to Mack Street. And when there, park in my virtual underground garage. And once there, call the Freedom Line, 734-239-3118. The Freedom Line, 734-239-3118. The Freedom Line, 734-239-3118. Because hmaclaw.com is your hookup. hmaclaw.com is your hookup. hmaclaw.com is your hookup. And J Love, I'm gonna say this briefly. I know people be writing you and putting notes on your car and stuff, want you to kick me off the show. I know all that. But let me tell you something, J Love. Let me tell you something. When they ask you, is Attorney Mack for real or is he just a showman? Tell them Attorney Mack damn sure is for real. And yes, this self-professed announcement has been endorsed by me, Hugo J. Mack Esquire, the one true king of Russia, Scotland, and Lower Harlem. I love you.
Mr. Mack.
Thank you, Attorney Mack. Attorney Mack, I'm just gonna say this. Attorney Mack is your hookup, and I had to call the Freedom Line. We Attorney Mack this week. We saw the railroading people right on through. But we came in there, we set precedents, didn't we, Attorney Mack?
Oh, absolutely. I'm so proud, J Love. I'm so proud. I know that judge was saying N-word under her breath. I know she was saying it. I know she was.
We done set a precedent, and so for those who come behind us, they'll be able to take advantage of the work that you did this week. And so for that, Attorney Mack, I appreciate you. And also for people who are, you need some help, you got something going on, for real, call the Freedom Line. And for real, because I'm telling you, HMAC law is a hookup.
Amen. That's right.
Don't you go in that courthouse without the lawyer. Don't you go there without the Maxter. That's what I call him, the Maxter. Look, if you haven't had to go, just wait a little bit. You or somebody else, you're going to need to call them. Write that number down. Okay? I didn't expect that. Look, within this year, both myself and Jay has had to call Attorney Mack. And I'm telling you, when you walk out with your shoulders held high, your head held high, and you have everything in control, that's a really feel-good moment, knowing that everything has been taken care of. So, yeah.
And one thing, I'm going to piggyback on you, Reverend T, and then we're going to get started. But you said something really key. Do not go in there without a lawyer. Even if
right.
you're the witness of the prosecutor witness, you better
Yeah.
have you some representation.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Anytime you got to go in that courtroom, because you might think you on the other side, and they can flip the script right on you. And
That's
you,
right. That's right. And
Because they ain't thinking about you. They
that's right.
ain't thinking about
That's
you.
right. Hey, hey,
You got to know that the lawyer and the judge are colleagues.
mm-hmm.
And when I went into the courtroom as a psychologist or when I was doing social work, they're not calling on me till the last.
Mm-hmm.
that's right.
They're going to call their colleagues
That's right.
first.
That's right.
Right.
There's an amount of respect amongst lawyers and judges.
That's
And
true.
so when
That's
you
true.
know this, you better have one. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, and then let me say this to Reverend Tia and to J Love very briefly. Thank you for having the spirit of a warrior in you, the both of you, okay? Because that's kind of you to say that, but we could have done nothing unless y'all was willing to stand up, and J Love, we set some precedent up in there. They will think twice about trying to do that with somebody else, because I guarantee you, next time somebody come in there, Mr. Prosecutor, did we inform the victim of their rights?
Yes. 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 And that was a great win.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. So
Wow.
thank you, Attorney Mac.
Well, thank you.
And sometimes the best advertisement is just word of mouth.
That's right.
Sometimes people don't know who to call, or you call the person just because you've seen a commercial 1,000 times.
Right.
On TV or whatever. And that sometimes it's not the person for you.
That's
so
right.
I'm just letting you know to do your due diligence.
Amen.
So we're all gathered here tonight for a reason. We're all gathered here because we want to talk about that, to recap the debate. I know for me, and I'll let you guys go. For me, at first, it was like, what am I watching? It was so funny in the beginning. And then, after I got my laughs out, I started to feel really sad. Like, these are actually our choices for presidential candidates. And it seemed like so unreal. I felt almost ashamed that we was watching this in real time. Like, these people are this is who we are choosing. That's how I felt. And I'll let you guys go. I'm gonna just let you guys, whoever want to go.
Well,
Kevin,
I'm gonna start because I know Nate and Kevin and Attorney Mac. I know this is getting ready to get all torn apart. But I just gotta say, I know when I had to. First of all, I was talking to the screen the whole time, and my niece came in there a couple of times. I know she just wanted to lay hands on me, but I could not believe this is what we have. So I summed it up as rhetoric, lies, and pull-ups. That's all I got. Rhetoric, lies, and pull-ups. Because I could not believe the amount of ignorance that was being displayed across the whole nation. Rhetoric, lies, and pull-ups. Okay, so I'm going to stop there so everybody else can go ahead. We can tear this and really look at it politically. But when you see two people and it looks like we're dealing with two children that are trying to play the one-up game, I thought at any moment they would start saying "yo mama," but they didn't. It's okay. It's okay.
What's the pull-ups, Reverend Tia? What's the pull-ups?
The pull-ups. I didn't want to say adult diapers, but pull-ups. That's all.
Hey, either way y'all can go.
Well, this is one of the reasons why they took civics out of the school. And this is one of the reasons why they put civics back in school. So this way you can learn the stuff regarding the presidency, the three branches of government, how the three branches of government work. So this way you can make a discerning and educated vote on your vote. I'm tired and I'm done with the lesser of the two evils. All that means is that evil is here today, is going to kill you today. The lesser of the two evils is going to get you tomorrow. It's evil is just evil. It's time for us to come up out of that. I'm voting for the lesser of the two evil. And I hate to say it, I'm not voting. I'm not voting. I mean, I watched this Congress, I watched this president, I watched the past presidents. We, the people, as it starts in the beginning of the Constitution, has to begin to take back our country. And how we do that is through civics and through education. That do not have to be our picks. We've been allowing this Democrat and this Republican crap drag us down a rabbit hole to the point of no return. And it has to stop. Look at what's happening in Palestine. I said to myself, I thought I would never see the day where another genocide would be committed. And we're committed, and we are aiding and assisting. And the congressman is complacent, and they're aiding and then they're assisting. It doesn't matter if they're Democrats, it doesn't matter if they're Republicans, they're all on board because of money. Because of money. And look, it's not that Israel have so much money. What happens is we give so many billions of dollars to Israel. They funnel that money back into us and buy off our politicians with our own taxpayer citizen money that they get from us. And here it is, we have no say. Technically, Benjamin Netanyahu is actually, by default, the president of the United States of America. And how did this happen? Because of civics. We have to get back to learning. We have to start looking for candidates that fits our not just a black thing, the country thing. We have to take our country back, candidate by candidate, and we have to start doing away with these super PAC monies, this APAC, and this. It's no way. And then, case in point, you look at the debate. The Democrats know Joe Biden had no goddamn business up there 6 months ago. 6 months ago. But this is who they trying to cram down your throat. This the same thing that and he's going to lose. He's going to lose to Donald Trump if they don't put somebody else in it. This the same thing they did when they robbed Bernie Sanders at the primaries to cram Hillary Clinton down their throat. And they put her up against Donald Trump, and she lost. And this is history repeating itself. History don't have to repeat itself, people. History is life lessons that show you what will happen if you do certain things. Then it will repeat itself, but it don't have to repeat itself. These is lessons that we should learn and take with us. But we the people have to begin to galvanize, come together. But I'm cool with racism. This country is built off of racism. All right, I don't care what nobody says. Everybody ain't gonna be a good, just like everybody ain't gonna be all fun and loving to different races. Respect me. You don't have to like me because of my skin color, but respect me. I don't expect to get hung at night. But if you want to hate me, whatever, but you have to respect me. That's all I'm asking. This country, this is the foundation of the country. But even with that, we're gonna have to come together because between Donald Trump and especially Joe Biden. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. Look. All that dude gotta do is just look, let it go, man. Just climb up in the casket, man, and just lay there. Just lay there.
That's so true. When I was watching the debate, I looked at it as a circus, and I felt like a clown watching it. Because I'm like, are you for real? And like my brother just said, it comes down to this. But I look at it like this. We should even be in this position anyway. How in the world can a human being have 34 felons and still can run for the president of the United States of America? You got folks that have one felon, and as Attorney Hughes was saying, can't vote, some of them can't even sit on a jury. But we have a man that is running for the president. 34. He was convicted. And the sad part about it is I'm listening to Donald Trump talk, and he is like using black people's pain, trauma, and hurt, and he's playing on it. Just like that black pastor that came to Detroit, that when he came to that black pastor in Detroit, Donald Trump didn't talk about policies. Donald Trump was in there just trying to get to the black people, and that's why a lot of black people didn't show up. There was a bunch of white folks at this black man's church. And I think it's sad that a lot of black people are so vulnerable, and then you have these pastors, and this is what upsets me, because we're supposed to be about separating the church from the government, right? But then they go to these pastors, give them a few dollars, and they invite their congregation or invite black people to come in and say, this is the man to vote for. Donald Trump, one thing I'm going to give him, excuse my French, but he's a real nigga in a white body. And I'm serious. And I'm serious because when that man tells you he going to do something, he's going to do it. And black people have to understand. I understand we're mad at the Democrat Party. I understand that the Democrat Party for years and years have promised the black folks things, and we still eating the crumbs that falls from the Democrat table, okay, which I call the master table. And that's why Islam calls the Republicans the Republic clan and the Democrats democrats. So we saw that last night. And as my brother was saying, Kevin, it's sad that we're in a position that we got to get away from choosing the lesser evil one. And what do we got? We got two clowns that's standing up there, and we as a country have to pick and we have to choose. But I want people to understand we have to stop voting for people that has already bamboozled us, shucking and jiving us. And we need, as a people, if we knew how to come together as black people, seriously, we could get our own party. And we could be so powerful, and we could get some things done. But we are so divided. And that's because of systemic racism. That's the way the system's set up. And that's what we go with. A lot of black people be like, oh, I'm voting for Trump because I'm sick of the Democrats. I'm sick of the Democrats. No. At the end of the day, I don't vote for Democrat. I don't vote for Republicans. I vote for people that I think that are qualified to get the job done. It can be a Republican, but if they're qualified and they're for the people, that's who I'm going to vote for. But black people, we so used to vote for Democrats all the way down the line. We just go ahead, ain't done no research, ain't done no nothing. We just hitting it, pulling it on down. Democrat, Democrat, Democrat. And a lot of us don't know what we're voting for. So the way this debate went, the Democrat Party, I have to be honest, is in trouble.
Yeah.
And from my understanding, I heard that they're going to try to come up with something, but it's too late. As far as I'm concerned, it's too late. The Democrat Party is in trouble because the reason why I say that, you can't keep on. Look at a lot of the black people. Look at us as a black race. What are we doing? We're going toward the Republican. We're going toward Donald Trump. That's why he came out with the gym shoe, because he think black people will do anything for a Nike gym shoe. So he came out with that. he has come out with so many things to be enticing to black people, and we're falling for it. So all I'm going to say is, black folk, your vote count, but you better wake up. All right, attorney.
Okay, Attorney Matt.
Well, first of all, Brother Haynes, with all due respect, you not voting is the worst thing that black people could ever do. It's the worst thing, with all due respect, brother. And I know your pain. I've lived it. You live mine. But let me tell you something. It's not about Joe Biden. It's not about Donald Trump. It's about our best interest. That's what it's about. So I'm not concerned with Joe Biden. I'm not concerned with Donald Trump. I'm not concerned with personalities. I'm talking about policy. Policy. Now, some of y'all may not like what I'm about to say, but hey, God bless you, and everything. But this is too important an issue to let this go by, because the future of black people is on the line right here. Because with Donald Trump, you have a man who has told you, me, and every other black person in this country, we're going to run with Project 25. Okay? We're going to run with Project 25. In Donald Trump, you have a man that has told you to your face, I ain't down with no kind of affirmative action. The court eliminating affirmative action, I'm down with that. You have a man that has told you to your face, damn the border. Damn the Republicans and Democrats getting together on a border bill, which would have put more border officers on the border, would have given us machinery to be able to track fentanyl, would have given us high technology to be able to control the border, would have given us more judges to be able to process people fairly and equitably in this nation. Damn that. Stop that bill from getting approved or even having a vote. The Republicans control the House. Remember that. He told his cronies, his suck-ups, don't let that come to a vote. Why? Because Donald Trump knows if that bill ever came to a vote, the Republicans are barely holding on to a majority in the House, barely, like 3 or 4 votes. Donald Trump knows if that bill came to a vote, there's a whole slew of Republicans that would vote with the Democrats to pass that bill. They know with the Democrats controlling the Senate would pass that bill and Joe Biden would sign it. So what I'm saying to you is, when you have a man that says on one side of his mouth, he talks about all these illegal aliens coming in, millions and millions of rapists and all this kind of stuff, there's no stat saying that. And by the way, if you're so concerned about the border, we have what's called a northern border too. You see, you notice how the folks on that southern border with black and brown indigenous peoples, but northern, with Canada and Europeans, ain't no problem with that. Ain't no problem with that. Anybody in this panel right now could walk across the damn border, okay, into Canada and back and forth. Yes, we could. Yes, we could. I'm not talking about going over in Windsor, okay? I'm talking about Montana, okay, Wyoming, all them areas right there. Very porous border. Very, very porous border. So what I'm saying is this, is that in this election, every other one, we don't have permanent friends. But as black people, we've got permanent interests, okay? Black people used to be Republicans. We used to be Republicans, all right? But you see, what happened was when the civil rights legislation was being formulated in terms of Voting Rights Act, Civil Rights Act, then Kennedy was assassinated, and then Johnson took over. He said, when we pass this, we're going to lose the South for generations to come. And that's right. So the racist Democrats in the South, the Klan was started by Democrats. Okay. The Ku Klux Klan was started by Democrats. The racist Democrats in the South, incensed civil rights legislation, became Republicans. That's why Ronald Reagan, when he was running for president in 1980, he announced his candidacy in Philadelphia, Mississippi, not Pennsylvania. He did that for a reason, because Ronald Reagan's main goal was just like Nixon, to lasso in that racist Democrat Republican crew that now supports a lot of the racist Republicans. Now, don't get me wrong. The Democrats got a whole bunch of racism in them too now. Okay. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. Okay. This is not a pass for the Democrats, but I'm saying in this election coming up right here, there is one party by far, that is better equipped to represent the interests of Black people than the other. When you've got a convicted felon, 34-time convicted felon, a man convicted of rape in a civil trial, a man sued for defamation, a man that's got a criminal trial pending in Georgia, a man that's got 3 other federal crimes pending with him, a man who was shown his disrespect for Black people. When he and his daddy had them housed in New York, they had covenants. No niggers allowed. No niggers allowed. Okay? And when you look at this man, the Central Park Five, even after those Black men and brown men were acquitted with DNA, he still called not only for them to be punished, but executed. When you look at a Black man by the name of Colin Kaepernick, okay, all the man did at his job was take a knee during the pledge, the national anthem, what have you. He wasn't busting no windows out at the Capitol. He wasn't trying to hang Mike Pence. He wasn't beating police officers with flagpoles. The man took a knee. And what did Donald Trump say about that man? Fire the son of a bitch. Remember that. Remember that, Black men. Fire the son of a bitch. The premier players in the NFL are Black. Okay, you know, so he was talking about not only Colin Kaepernick, but Black men, period. Black men, period. Fire the son of a bitch. And when you call somebody a son of a bitch, what are you saying about their mama? Okay, so what I'm saying is this. There's plenty of blame in the Democratic Party. There's plenty of showmanship and taking us for granted Democratic Party. But in this particular election, when Donald Trump tells you I'm down with Project 25, when Donald Trump brags about taking away a woman's right to control the autonomy of her own body, and by the way, I wish a woman would not have an abortion. You know, I mean, Black people are givers of life, not takers of life. Our whole history is that in giving of life. But having said that, that's my personal view. That's the view between me and my God and the women that are in my sphere. I am not about to stand up and tell a woman, I want to put you in a penitentiary because you make a decision about your own health. I'm not about to stand up and tell a woman, you got to bleed out in Texas, be in a friggin' ass parking lot, bleeding out because the doctors at that hospital are scared to treat you because, well, you know, we can't run no risk because, you know, they might view that as an abortion and you know, they might put us in jail. I'm not about to do that shit. Excuse my language. You understand? So what I'm saying is when you've got a man that says that and when you've got a party that is proud of that shit, they proud of it. Excuse me. They had a vote just last week on an issue about a man being able to have a gun when he was terrorizing domestic violence. Okay. And even the Supreme Court, with all those conservatives on there, said, you know what? This man can't have no gun. This ain't no Second Amendment right. This man is going around shooting people. This man is going around threatening people. Even the conservatives on the court said, no, he don't have a right to have a gun. There was one man on the Supreme Court that said, I ain't got no problem with him having no gun. I don't give a damn if he's threatening 50 women with the gun. He got a Second Amendment right to have a gun. That man's name is Clarence Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
That man's name is Clarence Thomas, okay? Wholeheartedly supporting Donald Trump, wholeheartedly supporting the insurrection. And let me speak to the Black men that are listening here, okay? If you or I walked up to the Capitol and we jaywalked, our Black behinds would either be in jail or the ground. You understand? In jail or the ground. No way in the world would they have tolerated a group of Black men coming up there, defecating all up in the Capitol, tearing down doors, you know, pulling guns on people and stuff, and abusing police officers. So when you have a man that says, Proud Boys, I'm riding with you, you know, stand down for now, I'll get back with you. When you got a man that says, if I'm elected president, I'm going to free them terrorists, and you got Black people wrongfully incarcerated all over the country, all over the country. He ain't giving a damn thing about freeing them. But them terrorists, he gonna free them? No. You cannot allow that kind of racism, that native racism, to get back into office. And remember one thing, when you put that person in office, they control the nuclear code. The nuclear code. You understand? Somebody can become a world globalist and say, you know what? F everything else. F China. I'm finna press a button and solve all this shit right now. So, in any event, that's where I'm coming from, but I'll let somebody else chime in.
I would like to comment on that. I respectfully disagree. I will still tell those not to vote regarding the election. I don't see it as severe as others see it or deem it to be. This is just a stage. And although they are doing what they are doing, these people have representatives that they are put up there in doing this. And by way of the racism of Donald Trump, no one did more harm than Biden in that in that 94 bill with Bill Clinton them up there who signed it. It was that bill which I did 27 years of incarceration. It was that bill. So first time offender. Murdered no one. Like so many other blacks. That bill has devastated our communities for generations and generations and generations to come. So when we talk about racism, Donald Trump and Joe Biden is running 50-50, neck and neck. This is why I talk about parties. And this is why I'm talking about break down and destroy both parties. What needs to happen is Donald Trump need to be president. What needs to happen is he need to ban abortions. What needs to happen is all of the foolishness that he's trying to push. That's what needs to happen. And if it causes an anarchy and an uprising, then so be it. Let me show you a good example. They hated Obamacare. Donald Trump was the president of the United States. Paul Ryan was the Speaker of the House at the time. They controlled the Congress. So what they said, they're going to finally get around to abolishing Obamacare. And all the white people was in favor of it. All of them. Until they realized just how beneficial Obamacare was to them. And just like the old radio announcer said, they hate Obama, but they love the kid. And all them white people, them racist rural areas, called all their representatives and said, if you vote on that bill, we're going to get your butt up out of there. So you know what happened? They didn't vote on that bill. They didn't vote on that bill. So their constituents, those congressmen, those senators did not vote to do away with the Obamacare legislation. This is what I mean about we the people, right? So let him go up there and do that. Because this looks like it's inevitable to happen anyway. So this is that lesser of two evil thing when it's all just evil. Once the people see what's happening, let the people need to wake the hell up. And if this is what it takes, then so be it. There's nobody working in favor of us. I hear you, Hugo Mike. I know you beg to differ with me, but from the history I have read, and from the history that I have seen, and from the history that I have personally lived, I haven't lived longer than you. How did we get here? There is people who vote for these congressmen and these senators who put them in this position. There are people that want this. This isn't, it's for the best of this. No, there's people that wants this. You understand what I mean? Give them what they want. Then they'll see otherwise. Because when they got that Congress up in there, with that, and they talked about doing with that Obamacare, and they had more than enough votes to even override a presidential veto. But them people called their constituents and their congressmen and told them, if you do it, Paul Ryan, who was the speaker of that, if you do it, you'll never be reelected again. And they didn't do it.
Well, excuse me,
Go
brother.
ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. Somebody else want to say something?
No, go ahead, Mac. I'll go after you.
Yeah. Well, excuse me, brother. In terms of Joe Biden and that bill, you need to understand it was a whole bunch of black people supporting that also. I did not. Okay. And so what I'm saying is, in terms of Joe Biden, as did Hillary Clinton, said there were errors and there were mistakes made. Okay. He has said that. Well, okay, shake your head if you want.
No, go ahead. He did say, okay.
So what I'm saying is this. When you look at a man that was chosen by the first black president to be a heartbeat away from the presidency, that unless of course you want to castigate Obama as a phony, what I'm telling you is okay, brother. Well, I mean anybody can be painted with a brush as a phony in that case. It's like a roller. So what I'm saying is this. When I look at the conduct of President Obama in fighting for the Affordable Care Act, which benefited black people much more than anybody else, because we're the poorest people, the one that have the worst health conditions, the one that have the worst food, the one that have the worst air. When I look at that, and I look at Joe Biden was riding with that all the way, and Donald Trump wants to eliminate that. See, that tells you what you need to know right there in terms of black people. I'm going to say it again. Don't look at the personality. Look at your interest. What is in your best interest? It was not the House Republicans that put a thwart in that bill. It was John McCain who put the thumbs down. He said the thumbs down, and the Senate could not approve it. So what I'm saying is, and by the way, when it comes to John McCain, you remember the thing about in the debate where Joe Biden accused Donald Trump of saying the soldiers are suckers and losers. Remember that? Suckers and losers. This is a man that had 6 friggin' ass bone spurs that said, "Oh, I can't go in the military." The man could have been a cook. The man could have been a quartermaster. The man could have been a mailman. But no, he avoided service altogether and eschews and shuns people that are in the military. He said he couldn't honor John McCain because he chooses people who were not captured. And so what I'm saying is, when you've got a man that shows such disrespect for the military, and by the way, in case y'all don't know, we have a disproportionate amount of black and brown people in the military. I don't know if y'all know that or not. A disproportionate amount of black and brown people in the military. In Vietnam, a disproportionate amount of black men died in Vietnam, great in excess of our percentage population in this country. So I say that to say this. When you've got a man that shows such rampant disrespect for institutions that black people have invested in and sacrificed in, black people were the major reason we won the Civil War. You do know that, right? You do know that. Black soldiers were the main reason we won the Civil War. So what I'm saying is, when black people have fought and died in every major campaign this country's ever been in, disproportionately, and anybody gets up there and talk about they're going to disrespect the soldiers, the tomb of the unknown soldier, that is disproportional disrespect to us. Okay, to us. And what I'm saying is, when we criticize Joe Biden, and there's lots to criticize about Joe Biden. Joe Biden not sitting up on his ass somewhere in Mar-a-Lago hitting a golf ball. That man is going overseas representing the country. He went over there for D-Day, by the way. A disproportionate amount of black people died there too, by the way. In case y'all don't know that, a disproportionate of us died there too. There was a movie called Saving Private Ryan. I don't know if y'all remember that movie or not. Saving Private Ryan. One of the big things I have against that movie, it did not give proper respect to the black people that were disproportionately killed. Okay, over there, it looked vanilla, and that's wrong. Okay, so in any event, brother, when you say people don't vote, people got to get together. If there's a saying that a voteless people is a voiceless people. Okay, because in our society, what black people have first and foremost is our numbers and our will. Dr. King said it. Ralph Bunche said it. Medgar Evers died for it. Okay. James Meredith put his life on the line. The Arkansas kids trying to integrate that Arkansas high school have all put themselves on the line for it. So I'm saying with us, it's our turn with the baton. So, that's where I'm coming from.
Those people who died for voting died for the voting at that time and what they were standing for at that time. There was nothing called AIPAC, who put who they want up there and controlled the Congress. There was no AIPAC. There wasn't no Jewish lobby that controlled the president of the United States. There was none of that. Okay, so what we're talking about is it's the same party, Democrat or Republican, that's heading us down that same rabbit hole. So no matter how much you want to dress that up, I respect everybody who died in the war that we have fought for, but we got to know what we're fighting for. We got to know who we're voting for and why we're voting. And we have to kill and do away and stop this nonsense about a lesser of some damn two evils. None of them have us in the best of any of our interests. And everybody talking about if the black people can get together, when you look at Rosewood, when you look at Lake Lanier, when you look at all of the Black Wall Street, when you look at all these places, it was Democrats, Republicans, and nothing ever happened to any of these people who gathered together. Every time the black people got, okay, forget the 40 acres in the mule. Let's just totally disregard the 40 acres in the mule. We don't need a 40 acres in the mule. Hundreds and thousands of blacks have galvanized to come together and build their communities. And they're all under a damn lake because a bunch of white people got together and put them under. There was no reparations for slavery. Okay, forget slavery. We shouldn't. Let's disregard slavery. What happened to the people on Lake Lanier? What happened to Rosewood? What happened to right here in New York City? All down in Wall Street? That rivals they had down there. On 14th Street was all beautiful. They had to call that a little Africa. What happened to Seneca City, a village right there where they built Central Park at? Every time we tried, and it didn't matter whether it was a Republican, it didn't matter whether it was a Democrat. It's nothing wrong with us as a people, man. A lot of us is broken from these people doing that to us, man. We have to get out of this two-party system, all right? We have to galvanize, come together, take our money, and get these and put our own politicians up there. Be it black, be it white, be it Asian, be it Native American. But this stuff with the Democrat, Republican, lesser two evil, this one gave us a crumb, this one gave us a cookie. No, it has to be done away with, man. I'm not feeling it. I'm not voting. Well, I respect my ancestors who died. The only thing I regret, you should listen to Garvey. Garvey was right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, okay, brother. But you see, the Republic of New Africa, give us, 5 southern states. We're gonna do our own thing. Garvey back to Africa. Okay, these are all things that are legitimate feeling that people have. So if your whole position is that of a Garveyite, in other words, let's get our own stuff.
I'm just stating.
Okay. Well, you invoke the name of Marcus Garvey.
Yeah.
So and what I'm saying is when you invoke his name, I assume you know what he stood for.
Yeah.
So what I'm telling you is, brother, is that Garvey wasn't about integration. Garvey was about separation. Now, if that's your whole thing, separation, well, then just say that.
No,
okay?
Hold on. Time out. Garvey wasn't about neither one. Okay?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Hear me out. A great book y'all can read if y'all want to read anything up on Marcus Garvey. It's a book called Race First by a guy named what's his name? Martin. He's a professor at Boston University. In that book, all Garvey was saying was that the people of color, and he wasn't for just no black people. He used to have work stoppages in South America, North America. He was strictly for people of color. And what Marcus Garvey was trying to do was he was saying, go back to Africa. Y'all are some brilliant people. We invented everything, the air conditioner. We invented the gas mask, the refrigerator, you name it. If we would have went back to Africa in the early 1900s, when he was saying go back to Africa, with all the natural and unnatural resources that they have there, and with our education, we would be twice as great as America is today. So this is the reason, this is where I come from when I say Garvey was right. Is it too late to go back there to try to do that? Maybe. But I'm just saying, on the onset, hindsight being 2020, he was right.
Nate, go ahead, Nate.
I mean, I agree with both. I respectfully agree with both of what you're saying. I want to go all the way back to Obama, because when you look at Obama, I'll say this: he could only do so much when it came down to black people. I really believe that. But what I really didn't like, I feel like he was put in office to enforce rules and policy when it came to the, and I'm going to be very careful because I do not want to get myself in trouble or J Love in trouble, okay? But I feel that he was put in office to really enforce the LBGT community. I really believe that was his agenda, because when you look at everything, yeah, he brought the Obamacare Act and it really helped black people, and then even Candace Owens, and I even look at her as a sellout, but she made a good point. The 8 years that Obama was in there, the only thing that black people end up getting was 15 million more people getting on food stamps under Obama's, terms. And my thing is this: he enforced these rules and policies when it came down to protect the LGBT community. Then here comes Biden. Now you got all these different genders. You got, I don't even want to even go all into it, but you got all these different agendas that's going on. And it seemed like they're more about protecting that community than our community. Biden, all right, over 400 years, black folks have had hate crime, but he's going to go and sign a bill for the Asians' hate crime. So you got fought in both parties. But one thing I do like about Trump, he do got a few values here. When it comes down to that, he don't agree with these people coming in, teaching these kids, and encouraging these kids to of all these different sexual things. So I agree with Trump on that. All right, but Biden, to me, when it comes down to it, to me, what I have seen, even with him, they're protecting everybody else. But when it comes to us as a race of people, let's be honest, what do we have? And I'm going to go back to, they keep giving us crumbs that falls from the master's table, and we get content with that. So that's my take on it. And this is why I vote for individuals and I don't vote for parties.
Just briefly, the name of the book is called Race First. It's by Professor Tony Martin. He was a professor at the University of Boston, Massachusetts. So anyone who's interested in that book, get the book. The book is an outstanding book he compiled together. After you finish each section, because they have little numbers in it, it tells you where you can find wherever his reference is at in the Library of Congress. So there's not like he's just shooting, blowing smoke. It's an outstanding book, and it walks down the history of it. It walks down the history of Marcus Garvey. It explains his true intent for us to get up on our feet. And anybody else, He wasn't he wasn't a hardcore racist. We was already separated. So if there was no sense in like there was nothing about we want to be integrated, especially back then in the 20s and 30s. That was unheard of. You better not even have no stuff like that coming out your mouth. So it wasn't about him being more separate, want to be more separated or more together. His thing was about we're gonna pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. We're gonna get us some education. What's his name? What's his name? Sponsor him for coming over here. Booker T. Washington, and we're gonna get educated. We're gonna take what we learned. We got our natural, unnatural, and resources and everything over there, and we're gonna make that country, which was then Liberia, what America is today. And had they did that.
Let me ask Hugo. Hugo, let me ask you one question. Mm-hmm. Hugo, very intelligent, articulate man, very, very, well and versed in when it comes to history and things like that. But let me ask you this question, Hugo. What do you see? What do you foresee? Say if Trump do get in office, Hugo Mack, what do you foresee happening in this country when it comes to different policies?
What I foresee in this country is a dictatorship, because Donald Trump has set. Brother Haynes, with all due respect, man. I mean, really. I mean, a man is telling you what he's going to do. Okay, he's telling you what he's going to do. Okay, Black people have never been at the top of the list. We've always been at the bottom of the list. So when a man says, I'm going to be a dictator, that means the people I'm going to look out for are people that look like me, are people that have philosophies like me, are people that have money like me. That ain't us. Okay, that ain't us. Okay, in any dictatorship, there's a servant class. In other words, you can't have a king without people that are servants. Okay, you can't have a king without subjects. So what I'm saying is, when you've got a person that says, I'm going to be a dictator, when you've got a person that says, I can stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue, shoot somebody, and won't lose a damn vote, when you've got a person that has stacked the Supreme Court so much, these imbeciles are actually entertaining this man's motion. Look, as a president, I need to be able to kill me somebody if I need to, because it just might be the thing I have to do. When you've got them entertaining that, even listening to that kind of argument, when you've got a man that says, I'm going to do it right this time. You see, Nate, to answer your question, the reason Donald Trump was not able to take over the government on January the 6th, 2021, was because people in the government that still had a moral compass. You notice Mike Pence is not supporting Donald Trump? You notice that? Yeah. First time in the United States where a vice president has said, I can't go with my former boss, okay? 44 people in Donald Trump's administration said, no way in the world this man should be president. Why? Because the people that know him the most trust him the least. So what I'm saying is, when you say what would happen, you can forget about civil rights. You can forget about the George Floyd Justice Bill. You can forget about the John Lewis civil rights legislation, voting rights legislation. You can forget about any aspect of prison reform. You know, when you talk about President Obama and his attorney general, a man by the name of Eric Holder, they said, you know what? There's been systemic racism in the sentencing on cocaine. Black people have disproportionately been sentenced for crack cocaine, while white people have been gotten lighter sentences for powder cocaine. They're both cocaine. But because of systemic racism, you focus in on the Black community, put those Black men in prison 5 times longer than you put the white boy in prison for the same damn drug. It's the same damn drug. So what I'm saying is, Donald Trump would never have addressed that. He never would have addressed that. So what I'm saying is, when you ask me what I think will happen policy-wise, I think in terms of police, you will have the shackles taken off of the police. Donald Trump had an attorney general by the name of Jeff Sessions. You know the first thing he told Jeff Sessions to do? Cut all that consent decree shit out. Okay? And for those of you, excuse my language, for those of you who don't know what a consent decree is, that's where the federal government has gone in, for example, the Philadelphia Police Department, the New York Police Department, has said, y'all is racist. Y'all is arresting black people. Black people is getting shot and killed at a greater percentage than whites. Y'all got policies and procedures. Why are you so heavily invested in the black community and arresting them, and you're not in white communities enforcing the same laws? Are you saying black people are inherently criminal? We come out our mama's wombs being criminal? That's what you're saying. So what I'm saying is Donald Trump told Jeff Sessions, skip all them consent decrees. Take the handcuffs off these police. Take it off the police. If they cracking black heads, well, then so be it. We got to have law and order. Law and order has never been aimed at anybody but black people. But black. And by the way, it amazes me how all these white Republicans talk about, well, look at Chicago. Look at all the crime in Chicago. We can do something about that. When they wouldn't come within 100 miles of Chicago. You understand? And all of a sudden, they got all this concern for black people in Chicago, okay? If you're concerned about crime in Chicago, why don't you go there and address city council? Why don't you go there and fund rallies? Why don't you go there to work on, anti-drug situations? So, Nate, what I see is a free-for-all in the federal government. I see laws being passed that will roll back any kind of civil rights legislation. Clarence Thomas already said, this civil rights stuff done gone too far now. Okay, civil rights done gone too far. So that's what I see, Nate. And also, Clarence Thomas, if Donald Trump get elected, Clarence Thomas finna retire. If Donald Trump get elected, Sam Alito finna retire. So what that means is you'll have two justices on the Supreme Court that Donald Trump is going to elect, nominate, like he did Amy Coney Barrett, okay? A person that will be on the Supreme Court for the next 40 years. 40 years. And what I'm telling you is, in terms of black folks and police brutality, we got nothing coming with a court. And by the way, when you want to criticize Joe Biden is the one that put the first black woman on the United States Supreme Court, Justice Jackson, okay? That's not just showboating. Joe Biden is the one that put a black man as head of the Defense Department, a man by the name of General Austin.
Yeah, that's a joke. Don't do that. That man's a joke. Don't do that.
Yeah, well, okay, you know what, brother. But I guess
let's stay with Kamala Harris. But
okay, brother. But I guess when I hear you talk, unless somebody got Garvey behind their name, they're a joke. Was Fannie Lou Hamer a joke? Was Medgar Evers a joke? Okay, was Martin Luther King a joke? Was Whitney Young a joke? Okay, was the mayor of Atlanta? Anyway,
Andrew, you talking about
Andrew Young, right? Okay, is Jesse Jackson a joke when he talks about voter registration? Are all these people a joke, brother?
Whenever you're ready, I'll answer it and give some redress on that. Actually, as I previously said, and I stand on that, back then, had we left, we'd have been greater than what America is. I still stand by that. Garvey was right.
Okay.
Now,
Now,
will that work now in these days and times? I believe I already said no, but we have to move forth in tactic. Now, all them people you mentioned are black heroes to me. I am not knocking any of them. I'm not saying Garvey way is the only way, but back then, technically it was. He was right. Okay. Now, you mentioned something in there regarding the George Floyd bill, how Trump and them ain't gonna pass it. Well, Biden them ain't gonna pass it. It didn't pass under his watch either.
Excuse me.
Well, hold on. Let me finish now.
Okay.
It was so cold.
Well, you're wrong, though. You're wrong.
Okay. Why wasn't it signed into law?
Brother, let me explain some basic things about how laws are created. The president has no. The president, brother. Excuse me. With all due respect, the president has no authority to make a law. Only Congress can make a law. You understand? That's why this nonsense they're talking about Joe Biden want all these illegal aliens in here to vote. That's a lie. Only Congress can empower somebody to vote. Only a natural-born citizen can vote. If you are not a natural-born citizen, you have to go through a process called naturalization. That is a federal mandate, brother. Yeah. So the House, when it was with Nancy Pelosi and them, they passed the George Floyd legislation. It was the Republicans in the Senate that held it up, brother. So please don't say that. Don't say that. Okay, it wasn't Joe Biden stopping that. It's the Republicans.
You are right. No, everybody. Listen to what he's saying. This is why I said about the three houses, the three branches, and how a bill is passed. The House, the Senate, then the president does. So what he's saying, if Trump come into office, if the Democrats have the House and it's all going to fall apart. So therefore, but you saying it's not Biden's fault because one House of Representatives didn't want to pass the bill. So therefore, we just can't say that it's going to be all Trump fault or Biden fault one way or the other. But what did pass? The reason why I'm mentioning this is what did pass. When this war in Palestine broke out, and they said that the Jews over here in America was afraid that they may be being attacked, and they said that threats on the synagogues was going up. Not violence. They said there was really no acts of violence committed. They said there was really no acts of violence committed on any one Jewish individual. But they said the threats was going up. They went right to the Black People Bill, the Civil Rights Act, and put that Jewish legislation into our bill, the Civil Rights Act. And it passed all houses of Congress and the presidency.
Well, okay.
Hold it now.
Hold it
now. Let me finish.
Okay.
I want to go to Rabbitier after that. Go ahead, Kevin.
This is the same. Within that same breath, he should have went and pushed. He should have pushed it, and the rest of them Democrats should have pushed it. The George Floyd bill, because right is right and wrong is wrong. There's no way that bill should have passed with sweeping flying colors, and this is why I say what I say about voting. Why? Because the congressman is bought by AIPAC.
Right. Yeah, and you know what, guys? This is great conversation because what is not being addressed is the pulse of the people. And all of these things, a lot of these things that have been stated are distractions so that they can continue with their own personal agendas. And we've got to be able to know that. As far as us being important, we got to be important to ourselves. As far as, and the thing about it is I don't want to keep saying these cliches that we always say, well, we need to be organized. Well, Black people can't get together. People of color can't get together. That's not true. They're getting together. People are getting together. We may not have leadership right now that says, because that's, I remember growing up as a child, and you didn't just have the two different parties. You had those parties, but you had other people running for presidency. You had other people trying to break the stigma of the same crap every time. You had different parties coming up and people who were independent and people who wanted to take on the charge of being leader of this entire country, and they had hope. What we are experiencing right now is a people without hope. And I think somebody mentioned it earlier. You don't have the different parties anymore. You need one person to decide that has enough clout and money behind them and say, look, I'm going to run on a humanitarian ticket that crosses all borders, that crosses all people, that really is about the human being and not about party. But why this can't happen right now, in this dispensation, because of AIPAC, because nobody wants to fight AIPAC. AIPAC is kicking our behinds. Okay? And nobody really understands at what level. AIPAC is in everything. And these representatives, they're scared if they don't agree with AIPAC or if they don't have AIPAC behind them. And so we're doing this. United States is doing this to themselves. If we fall, it's because of an implosion, because we are too stupid. We are the ignorance is at an astronomical level. It is off the Richter scale at how People are so ignorant. In this day and age, ignorance is leading. It's leading. And you can tell that by what we saw last night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what you can also tell is that they weren't really addressing the pulse of the people. They weren't really going over what really matters. And when you continue, oh my goodness, when you continue to say, well, what are you doing for the Black community? I don't know who else is tired of hearing that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of it. Because what are we doing? What are we doing for us? And what can they do that we can't do for ourselves? If we just took the money and redirected where our monies were going, and not just Black folk, but yes, definitely us, but people who have a human conscience, redirect the monies. Look at what you're doing. Take your families back. Stop buying this crap out here, trying to be like the Joneses. Some of these politicians just want to stay in office so they can get retirement and health care. It's sad to say because many Americans won't.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about Social Security. What Social Security? Growing up, my mother, they used to talk about, well, when are you going to retire, Mama? And she said, you don't. She just said, you don't. Don't plan to retire. What you do is enjoy what you do and do it with all your might.
Mm-hmm.
Do it with your might. Enjoy what you do. Pick something, enjoy it, and keep doing it. Because Social Security will never be able to match what you're worth, and you should be going for something higher than Social Security. Take our health back. I mean, in every a category, in every category, there's some kind of political nuance that is destroying us.
Yeah.
And it is time for us to wake the F up.
Mm-hmm.
All the way wake up. And take your family back and educate in the home. Your children should know who they are, where they came from, so that nobody can start telling them about a history that is non-existent.
Yeah.
The pictures so they can see the Black Cherokees.
Mm-hmm.
People should know that there weren't a whole bunch of ships going around in the slave system, that their Black people were already here.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you know your history, you realize that, okay, I need to start where I am. What am I going to do right now with what I have, and redirect how I'm spending.
Mm-hmm.
And until that other candidate comes up, I mean, people, look at your government, your local government, and address it.
Mm-hmm.
Look at your prosecuting attorneys, look at your judges, look at the ones that are right where you are. Get the 411 on them. Get to know what their history is, so you can vote accordingly in your community.
Mm-hmm.
And look for communities of change. Look for what people are doing in other communities where small communities are taking all their youth back and taking care of their elderlies and redirecting monies back into their own organization, where communities are establishing their own organization.
Yeah.
So that they can build.
Yeah.
They can build. And so we got to look at, I know Jay got some clips for us to look at, because I know we're supposed to recap what happened last night.
I do have a clip, but I
Okay.
want to piggyback on you, Revertia, because what you said is very key. Like we're so distracted by what these two are saying and doing that we're not paying attention locally. Something that we can control, something that we can take back. You know, even when we're talking about the Congress and we're voting for House representatives and senators, we can educate ourselves and work on sending the right people there. So when you have these two or whoever that's up there, just like they blocked Obama and just like they blocked other presidents, you can have people in those spaces that's going to do the work. But we got to do the work on our end as well. And I want to show this video because we've been talking about so much about the Black community. And this is from last night. I want to show this.
He caused the inflation, and it's killing Black families and Hispanic families and just about everybody. It's killing people. They can't buy groceries anymore. They can't. You look at the cost of food where it's doubled and tripled and quadrupled. They can't live. They're not living anymore. He caused this inflation. I gave him a country with essentially no inflation. It was perfect. It was so good. All he had to do is leave it alone. He destroyed it with his Green New scam and all this money that's being thrown out the window. He caused inflation. As sure as you're sitting there, the fact is that his big kill on the Black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking Black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're taking Black jobs, and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Thank you. President Biden?
There was no inflation when I became president. You know why? The economy was flat on its back. 15% unemployment. He decimated the economy, absolutely decimated the economy. That's why there was no inflation at the time. There were no jobs. We provided thousands of millions of jobs for individuals who are in all communities, including minority communities. We made sure that they have health insurance. We have covered, the ACA has increased. I made sure that they're $8,000 per person in a family to get written off for health care. But this guy wants to eliminate that. They tried 50 times. He wants to get rid of the ACA again, and they're going to try again if they win. You find ourselves in a position where the idea that we're not doing any, we put more police on the street than any administration has. He wants to cut the cops. We're providing for equity and making sure people have a shot to make it. There's a lot going on, but in inflation, he caused it by his tremendous malfeasance in the way he handled the pandemic.
What do you say to Black voters who are disappointed with the progress so far?
I say I don't blame them for being disappointed. Inflation is still hurting them badly. For example, I provided for the idea that any Black family, first-time home buyer, should get a $10,000 tax credit to be able to buy their first home so they can get started. I made sure that we're in a situation where all those Black families and those Black individuals who provided had to take out student loans that were ballooning, that if they were engaged in nursing, doctor, and anything having to do with volunteerism, if they paid their bills for 10 years on their student debt, all the rest was forgiven after 10 years. Millions have benefited from that. And we're going to do a whole lot more for Black families.
Thank
you. Okay. Sounds pandering. It sounds so pandering. What are the Black jobs, Revertia said? What are the Black jobs, Revertia?
That's that right there. It pushed me over, because why are they coming for the Black jobs, and what the hell are the Black jobs? So where you cutting us off at? What jobs are supposed to be Black jobs? What are Black jobs? That in itself shows a level of ignorance that is just horrific in this day and age. You talk about diversity, equity, inclusion. They all need classes. What's a Black job? Somebody tell me a Black job.
Well, okay, but Reverend Tia, you gotta remember how that conversation got started. Donald Trump is the one that said tens of millions are coming in taking Black jobs. First of all, there's no documentation showing that. And secondly, he brought up Black jobs. He's the one.
I'm saying it.
Right. So he's the one that should be defining to us what is a Black job.
Exactly.
He's the one that said that. So when we talk about what is a Black job, be sure to ask that to the person who coined the phrase Black job.
Well, you
And
know,
what I'm
I needed Biden to say, what's a black job?
yeah, okay, well,
I
okay,
need somebody
okay,
to have enough knowledge within their soul to
yeah,
dig deep
okay,
and
right,
say,
right,
well, Trump, what the hell is a black job?
right. And
Because
so
what you're
right,
telling me is
right.
that the people who are just now coming across the border, who may not be educated or anything, and they just getting over here, they're gonna take our jobs.
Yeah, well, see, first of all, you got to understand something.
That's
That
a
the
terrible
people,
narrative.
the I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. What happened? What happened?
I said that's a terrible narrative. You know, like there's just jobs for, they're not taking the white jobs, they're just taking the black jobs.
Okay, but once again, when you look at the genitor of the statement, that's what I've been trying to explain to y'all all night long. That is a blatant disrespect for black people, for Donald Trump to say they taking black jobs as if there's some little niche called out, for black people. We don't qualify for the white job. And Nate, you brought up Candace Owens. Let me tell you something, man, good brother. And I love you, man. I mean, I love you. Okay. But any reference to Candace Owens, you are too great a man to have that woman's name come out your mouth, Nate. You are too great a man. This woman said, I got to be honest. When I get on an airplane and if I see a black pilot, first thing I wonder, are they qualified? That's what she said, Nate. That's what she said. And what I'm telling you is she was high and mighty, just like her big sister Omarosa, with the Republicans and all that bullshit. Excuse me, y'all. Look, J Love, get you one of them bomb buttons. So
Wow.
you see, she was the queen of the Republicans, going places, berating black people, berating black women for having babies, berating black men as being shiftless, berating black men for not having any respect for law and order, berating black men for going around having babies like they was dogs in a kennel, berating black men all up and down the coast, until she made the cardinal mistake. She went and criticized some Jewish folk.
Yep.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And they showed that black woman how black she really was. You understand? Same thing with Omarosa, who, by the way, now understands how evil Donald Trump is, writing a book, and I think she's a minister now and what have you. God bless her. Donald Trump called a woman the B word. Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So what I'm saying is, Nate, you too great a man to even mention that woman's name. Nate, you thinking that woman's name ought to give you a headache. So
Look, you guys, Blessed Love said, ain't none of them taking any jobs. They're getting 10 grand and a place to live.
Well, okay. 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 You know what? With all due respect to the commentator, let's deal with the facts, okay? First of all, America has prided itself as an asylum nation. America has prided itself on a land of immigrants, a land of outcasts. America is one of the most racist nations in the history of the world. With a history of racism, all right? Came here, killed a red man, raped his woman, took his land, gave him smallpox and blankets. The United States Cavalry did that. Put them on the Trail of Tears, annihilated their culture, forced their kids into English-speaking schools to dress like the dominant race and make them transform. If you did not transform, you are in fact an outcast. Look here, I'm an immigrant. I wasn't born in the United States. I was born in Colón, Panama. My middle initial is J. J stands for Jacinto. That is not an Irish name, brother. That is a Spanish name, okay? That is a Spanish name. And people don't understand. Do not think about Hispanics as these people like Jennifer Lopez or Emilio Estevez. Black people are all in South and Central America, brothers. We are the backbone of the Hispanic culture. You see? So don't let nobody tell you when it comes to Africanism and being black that we don't have a vested interest in Hispanics, because we are Hispanics. Okay. The only difference is some of our people got off in Brazil from the slave boat. Some of our people got off in Puerto Rico, and some of our people got off in New York. We was all on the same friggin' boat. It's just like a bunch of black people being on a bus. I get off on Fifth Ave. Brother Haynes, he gets off on Lenox. Brother Nate, he get off on Miller. The only difference is where we got off the bus. We from the same damn place. Okay, the same damn place. So Nate, like I say, don't give yourself a headache talking about that woman, because now she's coming back to us. Now she wants to hang out and talk about, being a black girl being raised. You wasn't saying a damn thing about being a black girl when you being raised when you was with them folks. You see, arguing down Cornell West, trying to argue down Roland Martin and stand for all that. Where you ass at now? Where you at now, baby? Okay.
Right.
Okay. Down here in Niggerville with the rest of us.
No, he's right, because T.I. even had a podcast before on it, and T.I. he screamed on it. He started cussing at it and everything. He went in on it, and the statement she had made was that white people are just generally and naturally smarter.
Yeah, that's wow.
I mean, what he's saying is money. I remember that, and it wasn't until after she got kicked off the show. Hey, I'm black. Hey, you remember that? It reminded me of that in Living Color video when they doing the thing about Michael Jackson. They done the Matthew black and white. He gets the card and everything. And when the cops came, he said, "Hey," they did a little shuffle. He said, "Hey, you can't arrest me. Doesn't matter black and white." They arrested me. He said, "Oh, I'm black." They took him off to the precinct.
She realized how black she was when she went on the Breakfast Club, because she would have never went on the Breakfast Club.
That's right.
She was nowhere near the Breakfast Club.
Nowhere near the Breakfast Club. So she realized how black she was, and didn't even know the old saying when they asked her, "Do she know anything about?" When we say God is good and all the time God is good.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't even know what to even say, didn't even have an understanding of it. All she could say, "Well, I guess I need to start going to black churches to understand that."
Wow.
That's what she said on Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Just wearing the colors.
Yeah. And Nate, you are so right. Until she got showed how black she really is. And see, that's that Clarence Thomas syndrome right there. See, that's that Tim Scott syndrome. See, Tim Scott, if we go back to genealogy, I think we're going to find that Tim Scott is Clarence Thomas' nephew. see, because when I was talking to Brother Haynes about legislation, and in terms of George Floyd, look. Tim Scott ain't never been asked to be on TV about foreign policy. Tim Scott ain't never been asked to be on TV about domestic spending. Tim Scott has never been asked to be on TV dealing with agricultural issues in the nation. The only time Tim Scott is on TV is to put down the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act.
Yeah.
What they did with Tim Scott, his daddy, Mitch McConnell, said, okay, come here, boy. Yowza, Captain. What's up, Captain? Now, boy, we're going to put you in charge of representing the Republicans on this bullshit with this George Floyd. Now, this is what you're going to do. Yowza, boss, I'm listening. Now, you go on and meet with Cory Booker, that other coon over there in the Senate. Now, y'all talk now. Go on and talk. But at the end of the day, don't you dare let nothing come up here that got to do with that qualified immunity. Now, you can talk all that window dressing bullshit. You can talk about the need and the heritage and all that. But don't you send nothing up here saying I'm approved that qualified immunity shit. Yeah, I was a boss, I understand. And Tim Scott was the face of the Republican, a black man, the face of the Republicans saying, we ain't passing shit. Because, excuse me, this is probably the last time I'll be on the show. Y'all gonna ban me. We ain't passing nothing. Because Them darkies is just looking for a way to sue our good, righteous police officers. That's all they looking to do. They shiftless, they lazy, they crime-ridden, they don't want to work. They looking for, as Mitt Romney said during his campaign against Obama, a bunch of free stuff. Remember that? Remember what he said? What he said about black people? They're looking for a bunch of free stuff. So what did Tim Scott do? He said, no, we're not moving nothing on the George Floyd bill because we don't want our good teen-time white police officers bogged down with these darkies making this frivolous claim. Donald Trump is all in favor of what Tim Scott said, all in favor of it. Joe Biden wanted that bill passed to hold police accountable. Black people and perhaps Hispanics are the most victimized by police in the history of this nation. And of the black people, the black woman is the most disadvantaged demographic in the history of this nation, of the nation. Okay. So what I'm saying is, when you got a man that's saying F qualified immunity, skip holding police accountable, and you got one man saying, no, the police need to be accountable. If I don't vote for the man saying police need to be accountable, I'm voting for the man who said police do what the hell they want to black people. That's where I'm coming from.
But also, Attorney Matt, it took some communities coming together and saying, hey, we want qualified immunity. So, and that's how some communities do have it, and so, again, it comes back down to organizing and paying attention to your community, your local politics. Even like today, look at the Supreme Court. They passed this where cities now can punish unhoused people for sleeping in public.
That's right.
Even if they have nowhere to go.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
So they have criminalized being homeless.
That's right. That's right. And J Love, it comes back to this. Who is the majority on the Supreme Court ruling on that BS? Who is it? Who is it? It's not Ketanji Jackson doing it. Okay, it's not Sonia Sotomayor doing it. It's not Elena Kagan doing it. It's them people that are on there that are beholden to Trump and what Trump and them people stand for. That's what I'm saying. Do you know the group of people that's going to be hurt most by that ruling today? People that look like all of us on this panel.
Right. So like in California, where they have all those camps, where they have people in large numbers, tent cities.
Skid Row.
Today they ruled that, hey, you can put them in jail.
Yeah.
If they don't go, they ain't got nowhere to go, where they could go to jail.
Criminalizing poverty. That's exactly what they're doing. Criminalizing poverty.
Yeah, because they're banning the camps. And that's why they put that back up. Jay, can you put that back up so people can see? They're actually banning the camps from existing to even help the people.
That's right. That's right.
They're banning the camps. And they're allowing cities to do what, see, this is where you see, I believe that that's where you fall apart. When you say you don't want to supervise anymore, when at the federal agencies, you don't want to be involved. We're gonna let the cities to decide. That's how Jim Crow started. We're gonna let the cities decide. Let the cities decide that if they want to continue, if they want to have these separate.
That's right. That's right.
Or if they want to come to make it a law against people who have been hung on a tree. You're making it so that you're not going to be responsible per se. It's just going to be up to the city.
That's right. That's right.
This is horrendous. This is horrendous. And then unhoused, how they say unhoused people, they're just homeless.
Mm-hmm.
They
so
want
meanwhile, when you have where you don't have low income housing, they got it now. It's called something else, right? What is it called now? It's not low income.
What, subsidized housing?
It's not that either. It's called something else. But it's even low income people can't even afford it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we have to create the housing, especially for our seniors and for those who and women with children and low income families, it's going to be, look, this is the time, like I said, this is the time that we are experiencing, but there is the power that's within you to rise up and take your life back, take your community back, create the housing. These people get millions on multiple people living in close areas or in apartments that are horrible sometimes to even live in, that are roach and mouse infested places. And come on, it's time for us to take back our people, take back the community, help our seniors, put our monies together. Okay, you're not going to make 2 million in a year on the housing, but you can make enough where people can get a little bit of something of dividend, but at least people can be taken care of and they don't have to be criminalized.
Right.
Well, an older woman has to give up her car. She could still drive, but had to give up her car because it was either pay the increase in or give up the car.
Right.
And so she gave up the car. Why? Because the car had to have insurance. Car was paid for.
Right. Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
she got to pay somebody to help, hopefully come by, stop and see me, and take me to the store. Come on.
Right. Right.
Right. And even in New York, don't they have rats? People, I've seen videos where people literally had not mice. They had rats running into their houses. And so, thank you, Bless Love. She said affordable housing. That's what they call it, where people with low income can't even afford affordable housing.
You can't afford it.
But then you come up with a Supreme Court saying, "Hey, guess what? You can't be out here sleeping on the bench. You can't be out here sleeping in your car."
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Some people are literally sleeping in their cars.
And I'm telling you right now, the next option is the C, because that's really what they're doing. They're moving them black, them brown, them poor, disadvantaged whites, the mentally ill too, by the way, mentally challenged, emotionally challenged, moving them slowly out and out and out.
Yeah.
And it's only two ways to go in America, okay? Further inward to the land or to the sea. That's all it is. And that's what they're doing, you know.
Yeah. They're making more slaves.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
They're making more slaves. I mean, where else they gonna go? If they're in jail, there's free labor.
Well, okay, true. Either the sea or the prison. That's true. That's true.
So we were in court the other day, and this man who just left the mental hospital, he was arrested walking. He didn't commit a crime. He wasn't in the process of crime, but he did look to several. And even when we saw him on the video, you could tell that he had some kind of mental something going on. And for the police nowadays, they automatically criminalize you because of how you look. He had some tickets and ended up in the jail. And so this is where they put people.
Correct.
You know, they closed down all these mental facilities.
That's right.
They only got so much time. When you in them, they only got so much time to be there.
That's right.
Because they're pushing them out like the assembly line.
That's right.
And they go from there to the prison, jail, free labor. Now they saying, hey, you can't even sleep in your car. You can't even sleep. You can't afford a house.
Right.
Can't afford an apartment. And guess what? You can't sleep in your car. You can't pitch a tent nowhere.
Right.
Can't live under the freeway.
Right.
You can't do, because guess where you're going? To jail.
Right.
But this is my thing about the I don't even like to call it politics. I'm gonna call it a pile of tricks. This is what I'm talking about with the pile of tricks. we going back and forth about who's the best, Biden, Trump. Here it is. This man then gave trillions of dollars to the war in Ukraine and the war in Palestine. Okay. For the Israelis. All right. Of our money. He didn't ask us, is it okay for him to take those trillions and billions and send it over there? No, he just took it arbitrarily, unilaterally. Him and the Congress took our money and he did that. Okay, but look at the amount of money, especially in the Ukraine conflict. That is a losing cause. They are not going to win the war. It's just a trifling annoyance, but you took almost $500 billion. Now, in America, they asked Joe Biden and Barack Obama, George Bush, and all them, they did a study, and they concluded that it would take $20 billion to end homelessness. $20 billion. But this is what I mean about we the people. This is what I mean about civics. This is what I mean about holding their feet to fire. It's not about a Donald Trump or a congressman or a senator. It's about us. It's about us. It's about our money. Our money get taxed. When we make our money, then if you go buy gas, you get taxed. If you go buy grocery, you get taxed. They tax money that's already taxed and tax the tax. And at the end of the year, you got to pay more damn taxes for money that was already taxed and tax. But yet they take our money. And this is what they do with the people's money. $20 billion is a drop in the bucket when you can pay trillions and trillions of dollars. That ain't even $1 trillion. $20 billion ain't even close to $1 trillion. And just do away with homelessness so you don't have nobody sleeping in the damn streets.
Yeah.
How much money did they give to Ukraine?
Hundreds of billions.
Yeah.
How much money? We ain't even talk about Israel.
I tell you right now, I'm gonna Google it. It's
Ukraine. We could have took some of that money we gave to Ukraine in homelessness.
If we can end it with the thing about it, if we can end homelessness with just $20 billion across the board, if they really wanted to end it, they would have.
Google how much money did America give to Ukraine for the war?
Well, okay, but a couple things here, though. Okay, a couple things. In terms of Ukraine, a lot of that is.
Hold on, $52 billion. $52 billion to the present date. America have given Ukraine $52 billion in security assistance against Russia.
Yeah.
That would end homelessness for today, tomorrow, and the day after. But this is our money. This is our money.
Well, okay, but in fairness, when you talk about security assistance, that's not just talking about cash. That's talking about equipment. All right, it's talking about weaponry. Okay, it's an aggregate value. So it's not like the United States Treasury took $52 billion and give it in Zelensky's lap. It's not like that. But that's not even really the issue that I'm talking about. Okay, we can have a concern about foreign policy. Okay, that's not the issue. The issue is what party is willing to allocate and realize that we have racial inequity, systemic racism in the United States of America. Joe Biden is the only person running for president that says Black Lives Matter. You will never hear Donald Trump acknowledge the reality of Black Lives Matter. What you will hear Donald Trump saying when them Nazis was there, what is that? Was that in Charlottesville, Virginia, wherever that was, carrying them tiki torches and all that kind of stuff? What you will hear Donald Trump saying, well, you know, there's good people on both sides. That's the same bullshit that would have said, well, you know, Hitler really ain't all that bad once you get to know him. So what I'm telling you is that there's a lot to be desired in either party, a whole lot. But what I'm saying is, and I'm going to say it again, our concern is not with personalities. We don't have no personal friends. We got personal interests. We got personal interests. If the Republican Party started doing right and making gestures and trying to address systemic racism instead of denying it, and the Democrats started talking that BS, I'll be a Republican tomorrow. See, Frederick Douglass was a Republican. Frederick Douglass was a Republican. So what I'm saying is that when I talk about the vote, and brother, you and I both know a man from your neck of the woods, one of my heroes, Malik Shabazz, commonly known as Malcolm X. He gave one of the most performative speeches I've ever heard in my life. It was called The Ballot or the Bullet. And so that's what I'm talking about, Brother Haynes. I'm talking about the ballot or the bullet. Malcolm X wasn't talking about the ballot for nothing. He was talking about the power of that vote. And that's where I'm coming from, brother. That's where I'm coming from.
That's very unique how you quote Malcolm X. You cherry picking what Malcolm says. He despised the Democratic Party.
Okay,
but stop! Don't do that! Don't do that! I gave you. He despised the Democratic Party, and he talked about those in the way they're doing it, just the way you are saying. He talked about how they are the worst, them liberals, and how one thing about one side is going to show you their hand, ain't going to stand on their hand, and how the liberal stands on that same hand, except they are more sneaky and underhanded with it. And this is exactly what you're seeing. They know we can say Donald Trump, we can say Joe Biden, but regardless of what, there's two houses of Congress. Now, one can't work without the other. The reason why it's not working now is because we got a House of Congress that's full of representatives, that's full of Republicans, and we got a House of Senators that's the majority is Democrats. And until we get everybody in line, it doesn't matter who's up there. That's presidency. Now, Donald Trump could, Justice Alito can step down. Clarence Thomas can step down. Donald Trump can pick whoever he wants to pick up there. If the Senate don't confirm him, and the majority of the Senate, so let's just hypothetically say the majority of the Senate stays Democrat, and if the Senate don't confirm his pick, then he can pick who he want up there to be the presidency. I mean, to be the Supreme Court justice. It's just not going to happen. This is the same thing that happened when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died on the bench. And they were saying, no, wait till the next presidency to come. He says, no, I'm picking somebody now. And they push who was that joker? Amy Coney Barrett through although they were saying you should wait till the next president to come in. So it's contingent on who controls the House and who controls the Senate. Regarding the Supreme Court justice, it's who controls the Senate. Regarding any of the other bills, the Senate and the House.
Well, the Democrats control the Senate right now, but there's also 33 seats right now. This election is up. So it's up to us. We still have an opportunity to, get control of the House and the Senate if we keep them all in there. But it's up to us. And like you said, Kevin, I do believe that we do need to educate ourselves. We cannot keep walking around here acting like, I don't know, it's a good reason for not doing something. I don't know, it's a good reason for not educating yourself. We have to educate ourselves. We got to pay attention to not only the state, the national, but our local elections. They are really important. These school boards, voting on that. City council, voting for that. Governors, voting for that. Because these last few national elections, presidential elections, and what's been going on with the Supreme Court has given more power to these states, and that's when we have to be have the right person that we as leaders to activate our voices. But we got to be a voice. You know, we can't keep just waiting for somebody else to do what we need to do for ourselves.
Yes, I mean, all that's true, but that's premised on the vote, which is why I'm saying, with all due respect to my good brother, he's plain and simply wrong. Because when you hear a black man say, I'm not voting, he's checking out. Okay, so J Love, everything you talk about, everything you said about local, state, federal, you had one word that premise in front of it: vote, vote. And so what I'm saying is, when you have somebody checking out, they not only become voiceless, they are faceless. And that's what they're counting on. Ask yourself this question: if black people voting was not a threat to white supremacy, why do they have over 480 voter restriction laws?
All they did was create two parties.
Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. Hold it, brother.
I think a lot of people. I think Attorney Matt and Reverend Tia and Kevin. A lot of people have checked out. Well, a lot of people have checked out. And a lot of people are tired. A lot of people are disgruntled. A lot of people are, and that's why you hear a lot of people saying if they are voting, they're voting for Trump.
Yeah. Well, see. They are, that's what they want, though, J Love. That's what I'm saying. They want people to be checked out, because I'm going to tell you a group of people that's not checked out, the people supporting Donald Trump. They're not checked out, and they want us to be checked out. That's my point. And excuse me, brother, when you say cherry pick, I don't need to cherry pick Malcolm X. I've studied him for years. I ain't cherry picking nothing. And he said the ballot of the bullet. That's what he meant. He of course he didn't love the Democrats. He loved the Republicans. He didn't love none. But one of his good friends was Adam Clayton Powell. So what I'm saying is, and you know, Congressman from Harlem. So what I'm saying is, Malcolm grew the clear dynamic about the choices that black people have. Either utilize our vote for revolution or armed revolution. That's what the man was saying. And, you know, and perhaps it'll come to that. I don't know. We'll see. But I know the weapon we have right now, we don't have no Sherman tanks in our backyard. We don't have no missile launchers in our backyard. We don't have the 9th Regiment. We don't have paratroopers in our backyard. What we do have is a vote. And what I'm saying is, what good sister J Love said is right. We got to start making our presence known. We got to start letting them know you're not just going to run over us and put in any MF that you feel. No, hell no. We want to show up and say, what's your view on police brutality, Mr. Senator or Madam Senator? Maybe we need to rally against you because you don't think there's such thing as police brutality. That's all I'm saying.
Well, they're doing it now. They doing it now with this idiot up there that should be in the pond box. I mean, they do it. They just did it last night.
Did what?
There's no way this man should be a candidate.
Okay. Tell me this, brother. When you say
you hold on. Let me make this clear. There is no way Joe Biden should be a presidential candidate. Michelle Obama said she didn't want it. You can find somebody else to put up there. But what I am saying, there is no way he should be a presidential candidate because of his state of being.
State of being.
Man is borderline like senile. He can barely talk. You see him walk, falling off the plane. Don't know which way he's going on in different functions.
Okay.
There's no way. This is an insult to anybody, black, white, retarded, purple, green, or brown. There are other viable candidates.
Okay. Well, okay.
Other than him.
Okay, brother. You know, it's amazing to hear you talk about Joe Biden, this and that, but then I don't hear you say nothing about Donald Trump and all the missteps he's had.
No, I don't do that. I don't play politics.
Stop. No.
I didn't.
You are playing politics. You are playing politics.
I know you're playing politics. I did not say
you criticize. Hey, brother.
I'm saying I'm not. I don't like Donald Trump. When you don't like the whole political machine.
You didn't say Donald Trump shouldn't be a candidate. You said Joe Biden. Okay, you didn't say that. So
what you're saying is right.
Okay,
Donald Trump. Hold on, hear me out. What I'm saying is anybody under the Constitution can run for it.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
Say Donald Trump shouldn't be a candidate.
Hear me out.
Say Donald Trump shouldn't be a candidate.
Hear me out.
Say Donald Trump shouldn't be a candidate, brother.
I'm not as old as you, but I've been walking around with this mouth for 50-something years.
Yeah,
hear me out. And no one's going to put words in my mouth or tell me what to put in my mouth.
If you're not willing to say, if you're not willing to say that Donald Trump should be a candidate, if you're not willing to say Donald Trump shouldn't be a candidate, but Joe Biden should be a candidate, that's all you're doing is politicking, brother. Come on, man. Be for real. That's all you're doing is politicking. If you're for Trump, just say that, man. All this window dressing about, I'm checking out the vote. You don't act like you're checking out the vote. You act like you're a Trump supporter. That's what you sound like to me. So prove me wrong and say Donald Trump shouldn't be a candidate. That's all you got to do.
I'll say it.
I'm
not talking to you, J Love. I'm talking to him.
First and foremost, I mentioned the thing about the guy having 30. We all agreed about the 34 felonies. Not only shouldn't he been the candidate, we got past that. We said he should have been in jail. And I used that and said I did 27 years. If first a felony, how the hell he's not in jail, let alone be a candidate? I said that midway in the stop, Mike, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't you do it. So what you're saying is should neither of them be candidates, right? Okay, brother. What you're saying is should neither of them be candidates, right? That's what you're saying, right?
Just hear me out. Should neither of
them be candidates?
But hit me out.
Yes or no? That's a yes or no. Should neither of them be candidates, right?
What I said way off midway in the show is that Trump should be in jail and he shouldn't have been a candidate.
Okay.
Well, time out. We said that later when I said I did 27 years. If y'all can run the tape back, if y'all remember that, I said there was no way. I did 27 years. This guy got 34 felonies. Why is he even? Why the hell was running for president? Why he's not even in jail? I said. Stop. No. I said, why is he not in jail? Now the first-time offender didn't murder nobody. Yeah. This was my exact words, and I couldn't even get bail.
Yeah. I understand.
Okay. So I don't have to keep beating that dead horse about.
But you talking about Joe Biden, brother?
Hear me out.
You act like a Trump supporter, man. You act like a Trump supporter.
But you see, I made my point clear.
No, you didn't.
Donald Trump. But all I'm saying is this: is that I'm not saying I'm anti-Democrat, Republican. I'm anti the whole establishment, that political or that politics machine. I said we need a new way of doing things, a new party.
And your answer to that
no, Matt. What you are is a diehard, bona fide Democrat. They could roll a dead man up in that casket and say, "This is going to be the president of the United States."
I tell you what. What I am
to be dead on the ground.
What I am is a person that says
talking about he stands for us. The man's dead. He's dead. He's laying down. They can ain't bury him, and you still gonna be like, yeah, and you don't like him because I'm a Democrat and Joe Biden's the greatest.
No, well, okay. First of all, I never said Joe Biden is the greatest. I never said Joe Biden was the greatest. But the bottom line is, man, you need to be for real where you coming from. You speaking out of three sides of your mouth. You talking about don't vote, and then you're talking.
It's Rabatia. Go ahead, Rabatia.
my time out. I did my time.
Yeah.
You all would be kicked out of the game, the whole game. And I would have called text on both of you, and y'all would have been sent to the locker room. All right. So this is the deal. When we have conversation like this, and this is what's needed because different sides are going to come out. People will have different points of view, and this is necessary.
Right.
House and ever.
Right.
House and ever. What we're not going to do up in here, and it's good. It's good because I want us to see how easily we get distracted on a thing. Okay.
Mhm.
But we can't come at each other.
Right.
Our Caucasian brothers and sisters, that's where they stick together. Because,
Mhm.
you know, and that's how come the system keeps working, because they're not letting you see and hear them. Not saying they don't argue, not saying that they agree on everything, because they don't. But at the end of the day, we're the ones, no matter what view you have, we have to deal with the policies and the precedents that have occurred in this United States.
Mhm.
That's how it works. I hear both. I hear the you know, of course, that where are the leaders? I feel and hear also the fact that lobbyists have taken over our whole system. And that's
Mhm.
very important that we know this. APAC, that they only can exist because we have allowed lobbying to be a truth and a way to politically have success politically. We allowed that because at one point we didn't have lobbying. We need to get rid of lobbying. That would be a lot of it. But see, you have leaders who like lobbying because they get paid from that. They get to keep their positions from that. This is why, and these are the concerns of many people. But
Mhm.
you know, when it comes down to it, what are you going to do individually where you are, within your community where you are? And it's not for me to know it right now. It's not for me to know ever. I have to be accountable for myself. The
Mhm.
problem, I believe, in many communities is that we're distracted. We're distracted by entertainment
Mhm.
and
Word.
recognition. And
Yeah.
those are the things that keep us distracted to the point where we can't center in and make a decision and move in a direction that's going to benefit not only myself individually, but my family and my community.
Right.
You know, so what you do, like I always say, I can I I I hear what you do. I see what you say, but I
Mhm.
don't hear what you do. I'm I you're doing this, so you can't talk to me about what you're gonna do. I'm looking to see what you're really going to do, and according to your action is how I will tell what it is that you stand for. And I think that America, it's time for us to look at these politicians and these people in leadership and judges and prosecuting attorneys and the whole gamut, and look to see what are you doing, and keep a report card, because I can't know about all of the different communities, but I would love to be able to come on here and have somebody come on with a report card that says this judge right here, this is a good one. We don't even know the good ones because ain't nobody talking. I want to
Mhm.
the ones that we need to vote for. Who do we need to focus on? Because what we keep doing, and this is what really, really, really cool, what we keep doing is looking at what we don't like and what we don't want. What's getting bigger? That's what's expanding, is what we don't want, what we keep complaining about. If we, instead of looking at what the hell do we want,
Mm-hmm.
make a decision about what you want. There is
Right.
nothing more irritating to me on this earth besides a double-minded man who can't make up his mind about Jack or woman. Make a decision. Make a decision about what you are wanting in your life, individually and collectively. Make a decision and then walk that way. But don't tell me what you want and then you don't take action towards it.
Right.
That's not going to do nothing but piss me the hell off every time.
So I want to say that I appreciate this whole conversation tonight. I appreciate you, Kevin, and Attorney Matt, because we got views. And I didn't know this was going to happen, really. But we have a view of both sides of how people are feeling. And this conversation was actually very necessary because we can't change or we can't see nothing unless we have a conversation. So we can feel and view a different way and maybe take an action in a different way. So, and I'm glad that you were here, Kevin. I missed you anyway. And and Attorney Mac, also, I appreciate you too. And Nate, they had to jump up because they late with us. But I appreciate this conversation, and I think we need more of it. And that's why next month we really gonna get into Project 2025. We need to break it down for real. We need to have that conversation about what it really is. We need to start reading. We need to start having conversations with our families. And even like us, we're considered family, and we do need to have, and sometimes we're not going to agree, but we can agree that there needs to be some changes, and then we got to start doing something different. And we can also agree that we can't keep on acting like we don't know. Even if you don't agree, you need to be educated about why you don't agree to form an opinion, so we can all find a common ground to work for the things that we really want. We know what we really want. We're seeing more and more people, more and more kids getting shot down in these streets. It has not stopped. It has not stopped. While nobody's in office, it hasn't stopped. It's even getting bad here in Michigan. So we're seeing that. We're
Except
seeing
for
more and more.
Pastor Barry Randolph is. I just want to do a shout out to Pastor Barry, who's cleaning his neighborhood.
Right.
And guy has turned down, all the crime has gone down. No more shootings and killings of children on the east side of Detroit. Thank you for your work.
Right.
Thank you. Great.
And his community, he has decided to take their community back. And so guess what? Pastor Barry has shown us how he has opened his space up to become a community hub. And they're doing things to engage the community. There are things that we can do ourselves, and we have to motivate ourselves to get out here and do it. You know, he had a long list of things they're doing. They even got a clinic in the church. They have a doctor there. They have an employment office there. They have a computer lab there. They have all these things that the people, they got housing. They're getting people that's homeless housing that's in that community. All in this one little 100 people congregational church. So we can take our life. We don't have to be imprisoned by all this craziness, but we have to empower ourselves and educate ourselves and on how to do it and agree on what we need to get done. So we are way over our time tonight, but we are way over. But I wanted, I like it, and hopefully we can do this more, because sometimes we do need to hear the opposite. We do need to understand how somebody else is feeling. you know, everybody don't feel the same. Everybody don't come from the same place and the same, you know, or different spaces in their life. And so we do need to have these conversations. And it's not personal. It's just, we just need to have it. So I thank you guys for joining me tonight. And Kevin, I hope you come back and join us again. And I'll tell you back, I know you are here because
Okay.
You can't go nowhere now.
Right. You stuck, attorney back.
Hey, look here. We here together, all of us.
Right.
Hey, Kevin too. We here together.
Hey, look, that was that. Look, man, I have the utmost respect for you. That's just my political view, and that's just my way I feel. And you know, from my studies, from what I understand from me doing politics, because when David Dinkins, he was the first black here in New York, I helped with his campaign. So I have an iota of political experience early on in my youth. But my thing is, and I was Democrat, and I'm not anti nothing, but I just think that we need to, when I say we, I mean we the people, black, white, the people who really have this country, whether you're racist or not, in its best interest, begin to start create a party and begin to start and make things change. This isn't about Biden. This isn't about Trump. This is about us, man. This is about us.
Yeah, right. And hey, brother, there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You know, it's called popularism. There's nothing wrong with that. But in order to put that person in office, you got to vote them in, brother.
And on that note, we're about to go. So we'll see you next week or next month, July. We're going to focus on Project 2025. And I thank you guys for joining me. And good night.
God bless y'all. Amen. Hey, be safe, y'all.